What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to talk about defensive coverages in NCAA Football 06. This is part of my quarterback series where I'm going to go through the ins and outs of everything you want to know about playing quarterback better in this game. And in our previous video, we talked about identifying man or zone coverage after you break the huddle. As soon as you call your play, you're going to notice the cornerback to your right. If he's running hard to his spot, they're going man. If he's sliding to his spot, they're going zone. And if you flip your play, you may need to read the corner on the opposite side. Very simple stuff, but that's always the first read you look for as soon as you break the huddle. The next step is looking for other pre-snap movement from other defenders. But in order to learn that, it helps to understand the basic coverages in this game. And believe it or not, there's only 6. There are 3 man coverages and 3 zone coverages. Let's talk about man. Now, here you see a bunch of different formations on defense. It doesn't matter what formation they're in, there's still only 6 coverages. So let's go ahead and pick a 4-3, and let's talk about man first. There are 3 man coverages. Cover 0, this is an example of a cover 0. It's where your 2 safeties are coming down. There's nobody on the back end. And what coverage means is the back end, what are those safeties doing? What are the corners doing? In this case, nothing is happening back here except these 2 guys are defending somebody. This is a man play. They are defending a particular player. This safety's defending somebody. That is cover 0 because there are 0 people on the back end. Then you have cover 1. This is an example of a cover 1. You got 1 free safety going over the top. That is a cover 1. And then you got a cover 2. Let's see. We can find one, and there should be only a couple for man. Here it is. Basic cover 2 man. You have 2 safeties back there in coverage while everybody else is playing man. So you got cover 0, you got cover 2, and you got the cover 1. That is it. Now, when it comes to zone, you only have 3. You got cover 2. You see all these little bubbles right here. Everybody's defending a certain area. But this cover 2 is no different than this cover 2 in terms of what the safeties are doing. They got 2 deep guys back there covering both halves of the deep field. Then you got cover 3. This is a cover 3. As you would imagine, there are 3 guys back there. In this case, there's a cornerback going deep, a cornerback going deep, and you have a free safety going deep. There are a few other cover 3s that may look a little different. Maybe we can find one. Like here is Hulk 3. Yes, you got a zone blitzer coming through from the cornerback, but you still, in the end, you just have 3 guys sitting back there. It's still a cover 3. The last one is a cover 4, and this is what I use a lot when I defend, certain passing teams. This is quarters coverage. As you would guess it, there are 4 guys on the back end. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are not many of cover 4s in this game, but they are in there and they are pretty effective if you use them correctly and you got the right personnel. So in the end, there's just 6 coverages total, 3 for man and 3 for zone. So it helps to understand what those are so you can understand what those pre-snap extra movements I'm talking about. So let's go ahead. I've already picked a play. Let's go to nickel, and let's go ahead and select crash gold. This is a cover 1 man because everybody else is playing man, but we got 1 deep safety. So let's go ahead and select that and watch what this safety does when he comes down to the line to defend whatever receiver I have right there. Notice he just now comes down. Now, we already know about the man or zone coverage identification after the huddle. Let's pretend we're already at the line. You're going to see that movement quite a bit. When you see a safety come down, you automatically know it's already going to be man anyways. But what this does is it's the process of elimination. If you know they're going man, that means you got 3 coverages left. Well, if you see this guy coming down, that means it's at least a cover 1 or a cover 0. So again, it's just the less you have to think about post-snap. So what we're going to do is we're going to snap this a few times, and I want you to keep reading that safety. We're just going to just call a play. I don't even know what I'm calling, to be honest. Again, watch the safety right there. He's coming down. We already know it's a man play because we're going to do our identification. I know I'm not showing it to you here, but he's coming down. That means it's either cover 1 or cover 0. It's little things like that that make it easy for you to identify what they're going to do and make better decisions. Because at this point, if they're going cover 1 or cover 0, we can go to our cover 0 beater if we had one, or cover 1 or what have you. We're going to talk about that in a later video. But again, the whole point of this is just process of elimination. Okay. Now another one you may see, and this is only man specific. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call another play. We'll just call this one. Let's call a cover 0 where these two safeties are defending the outside receivers. They're doubling those outside receivers, but again, it's a cover 0. So as you can imagine, what are these two safeties going to do when I call this? They're going to go down like that. It automatically tells you it's cover 0, and then you automatically know who to go to if you got a cover 0 beater, if that makes sense. So again, this is really man specific. If I called a zone play, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and call a play, and we'll go and call a cover 2. Notice you're not going to see many defenders move around. Yes, you may see a linebacker slide over or whatnot, but in general, you'll never see the safeties move up or down until you snap the ball. And we're going to look at that here in a little bit as well. But again, we can call like another zone play. We can go call this. Let's go ahead and call a cover 3. Again, you may see somebody slide to the left or right, but those safeties, it's all about the safeties when I say this. Read what they're doing. They're not doing anything. We know they're in zone. So it's cover 2, 3, or 4. We won't know until we snap the ball. But at least I wanted to show you some of the extra pre-snap movement from examples like those man ones I just showed you. Like this one right here. You go back to another cover 1. Nothing happened there, but it still may be a cover 1. But I wanted to show you when he is defending a particular receiver. That's usually when it happens, like a crash gold. That's where you may see that. So automatically know. Cover 1 or cover 0. Okay, so having said all that, we understand the 3 coverages for man. We understand the 3 coverages for zone. Here's what I suggest you do. You need to practice this. You need to watch it over and over again, because we're going to look at the post snap. In the grand scheme of things, as long as you know what coverage they're in, if it's man or zone, you're technically ready to call, to actually snap the ball. So let's just call a pass play, for example. And what we're going to do is we're going to read what those particular safeties look like. What I suggest you do, though, is you go to practice type, and I want you to go to pass skeleton. Pass skeleton means you're not going to have any pass rush. I just want you to focus on the back end. So we're going to go ahead and select a play, and when you do this, all the run plays are grayed out. We'll go ahead and select slot cross. We're going to select a cover 0. Let's select this monster green. Okay, at this point, we saw a safety come down. We already know it's man. Pretend that we're actually playing a game and you identified your man or zone coverage. We know it's man, and now we know even further with this safety coming down. That means it's at least a cover 1 or 0. At this point, I just want you to pay attention to what that other safety is doing right here. Let's snap the ball. And notice what happens on this play right here. As soon as you snap the ball, that safety comes down. Right here, there is nobody back here. That means it is cover 0. Okay, so let's just look at it again. At this point, I think it's either cover 1 or cover 0. We don't know until we snap it. That safety comes down, automatic cover 0. We'll go to somebody over the top or somewhere, which again, we'll talk about that in another video. We'll do this one more time. Right now, it looks like it's cover 1 or 0 at least, and what we can do is pick another cover 1. You may see something more familiar like this. So neither safety comes down yet. Let's go ahead and snap the ball. At this point, it's cover 0, 1, or 2. I don't know. Just read the safeties. Boom. I'm only seeing one high safety. So when we're going to go ahead and snap this, I'm looking at the safeties. What's happening right here? This safety automatically came down. I see one free safety going high. Cover 1. Man. There's no such thing as a cover 1 zone. Only a cover 1 man. At this point, I know my man or my cover 1 beaters. Again, we'll talk about that in another video. But this is the other thing I just wanted to point out. The other pre-snap movement. Let's look at a cover 2. We looked at a cover 0. We've looked at a cover 1. Now let's look at a cover 2. At this point, they could call any of those man coverages. But let's snap the ball. And now I'm seeing both safeties go high. Okay, let's go ahead and replay this. Snap the ball. Boom. At this point, this safety's defending this half of the field. That safety's defending that half of the field. Everybody else is playing man. That is just cover 2. So what I suggest you do is practice this. Stare at it. Cover 2. Cover 2. And what you can do is, if you want to get this on random, I'll show you at the end of the video what that's going to look like. But let's talk about those other coverages for zone. We've looked at all 3 for man. Let's go ahead and pick another pass play. This time, let's look at a cover 2 zone. So we've broken the huddle. We saw the corner on the right side slide to a spot. They're going zone. At this point, it's either 2, 3, or 4. I just have no clue. But we're going to snap it. What are those safeties doing? They're splitting the field. So what we're going to do here is we are going to look, snap the ball, boom. That's all you really need to see. The first read is always those safeties, and just kind of see what coverage they're in. Cover 2, they're splitting the field. So let's try that again. Watch the safeties, splitting out. Automatically cover 2, and then I can go to my cover 2 beaters, whichever ones those are. All right, let's look at the cover 3. Let's just pick another play. Let's go here. I'm going to back out, actually. Let's pick a drop back. We'll go here, and let's pick a basic cover 3. It doesn't matter where those 3 guys are coming from. It's still a cover 3 as a cover 3 as a cover 3, and vice versa with the other ones. Let's snap it. I see 3 deep guys back there. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch the replay. Snap the ball. Boom. The easiest thing to do, and just to be honest, always pay attention to the free safety. It's the safety on the left side. He usually just kind of decides what's going to happen. If they're going zone, we already know how to identify that, and you snap the ball, and this safety goes back in the middle of the field, it's always going to be cover 3. I don't think there's a lot of differentiation in this game in terms of the cover 3, so I'm pretty sure this free safety is always going in the middle of the field. But look what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing 1, I'm seeing 2, and I'm seeing 3. You keep on going, even more. 1, 2, and 3. That is a cover 3. You pick another one. Let's go with a different one. Let's go ahead and pick another pass play. Let's go with cover 3 cloud, one of my favorites. At this point, it's zone. We just don't know what coverage it is. Let's go ahead and snap it. I see 3 deep guys back there. That may be an interception. Let's look here. We're going to snap the ball. Boom. What's that free safety doing? He's in the middle of the field. We know it's a cover 3 just from that alone. But look at it. We got another deep guy here and another deep guy there. So then at that point, you're thinking, okay, what are my cover 3 beaters? And again, we'll talk about that in another video. Let's look at quarters. Very simple. You know what to look for. We're going to go quarters, cover 4. Snap it. I see 4 deep guys back there. And that's all I need to know. From there, I'm going to go find my cover 4 beater, and then we're going to move on to the next play. So let's snap the ball. In cover 4, you're going to see these 2 safeties pretty much go straight back. Really good idea is if you're like on the right hash and you notice this safety that's on the hash goes straight back, very good chance that's a cover 4, but it could be maybe something else. There's a lot of different variations with these, but either way, you keep going back some more. I see number 4 guys, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is a cover 4. So again, I suggest you do a random. So we're gonna go and practice this. We're gonna go back, go to practice type. You can stick with pass skeleton, or you can go with normal. It's up to you. I suggest you do pass skeleton just to read those safeties 100 million times over, however long it takes for you to understand that. Okay, so we'll go back to pass skeleton, and then when you go back, when you pick a play, what I suggest you do, just pick your random pass play, and from here, you see at the bottom, random formation, random all, packages, flip play. Select R1, or is it still R1 on the Xbox? I don't remember. Either way, random formation, select that. What that's going to do is going to pick a random play from this particular formation. Now, I know we're in practice mode. We can't see that quick man zone identification. Technically, you can do that if you zoom out real quick. And I'm going to do a practice video somewhere down the line. But either way, let's just go ahead and do R1. At this point, I have no clue what they're really running, but we're going to snap the ball. I see 2 deep safeties. Should be a cover 2, so we can go back and replay it. We're going to go ahead and snap it. Boom, I see 2 deep safeties. Right there, right there. Looks like everybody's kind of defending somebody else. That tells me it is a cover 2 man. Okay, let's do it again. They may be going zone here, but let's just read the safeties. I see another 2 deep shell. Let's see if I can make a good pass right there. Let's see if I was correct. Let's go back and look at it. Snap the ball. I see 2 deep safeties. That's what I'm seeing there. And I was correct. It is cover 2 zone. You know, this guy's in a spot, that guy's in a spot, and what have you. And promise me, it'll look a whole lot easier whenever you do this in a real game. That's why I always suggest you go back and look at my previous videos for that. So that's what I suggest you do. Practice. I can't stress that enough. You got to practice that stuff. So hopefully, once you understand identifying man or zone after the huddle, then look for that other pre-snap movement. You won't understand that pre-snap movement until you understand coverages, is what we talked about today. Know your 6 coverages, 3 for man, 3 for zone. Your 3 man, 0, 1, and 2. And your zone is 2, 3, and 4. Then after that, go into practice mode and rep this stuff 100 times over until you can see that. Now for the next videos coming up, we can start talking about actual routes that work against man or zone, and then we can complete this puzzle a little bit before we move on to more advanced things. All right, hopefully this was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later.